Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Serene, and today is going to be a first impression wear test review of the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. It's a powder foundation, supposedly good for all skin types. It's supposed to be waterproof, sweat-proof, mask-proof, everything proof, and it has gone viral on TikTok. So I had to try it. Anybody else addicted to watching TikToks? And if you just open the app, hours of your life disappear. That's kind of my situation, and it's also why I'll disappear from TikTok for months at a time, because it is a addiction I can't stop myself from once I start. This is sold out everywhere. It took me a while to find one that's relatively close to my shade, and I became so desperate I just bought the only one that was near my shade. It was literally there's 3 left of this entire product, and the fact that I even found 3 in a store was shocking. I have the shade 120 Vanilla, which is probably going to be too light. The other 2 shades were way too dark for me, so I picked this up. It's a wear test, so let's just see how it wears, and this is what it looks like. I actually really love the liquid version of this foundation. It comes in a pump, it's a glass package. It's a beautiful long wear, natural finish foundation. It looks amazing on combination skin and dry skin. I don't know how it works on super oily skin, but I love the drugstore liquid foundation of the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Wear. It's such a beautiful drugstore foundation. It's so good. Okay, let's move into it. I have sunblock on and my skincare, and that's it. Now, in all of the videos, they just use this sponge that comes with it, which is a traditional kind of makeup sponge. And then on the inside, there's a mirror. I think that's kind of cool packaging, because then you know that you always have a mirror with you. It's a decent sized mirror too. Let's go in. I'm gonna swipe a little. It's definitely too light. I probably should have put concealer on. It's definitely too light, but it's really smooth. I love how it feels on my skin. It doesn't feel powdery. Okay, I need to pause and put some concealer on. You watched my video where I basically was coerced by TikTok, and TikTok made me buy a bunch of beauty products at the drugstore. This is one of them. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I tried it out in that video. I don't know how I feel about it fully, so let's just put it on again. And the only reason I'm putting concealer on first is because this is a powder foundation, and I have a cream concealer or a liquid concealer typically. Okay, now that I'm a little more concealed, I'm kind of like freaked out at how much coverage I got from just one swipe of powder, and how like seamless it looks. I think I just need like half a shade to a full shade darker. I feel like there's a scent to it, but it's very nice, light, pleasant scent. You know what this reminds me of is my first ever real foundation in high school, freshman year, MAC Fix Plus. This is so light. I like powder foundations. It brings me back to my high school days. Shade is definitely too light, but I'm kind of digging the coverage, and more importantly, I'm digging how it feels on the skin. Now right here it's a little, I don't know if you guys can see this. It's definitely pilling right here. But maybe it's because it's not the right shade. I don't know, let's go in with this side. Definitely got rid of any of my redness and discoloration, but this also does look like makeup. Like, this is not gonna be like, is she wearing makeup? Is she not? No, your girl's wearing makeup, but it could just be because I bought a shade too light and I'm trying to make it work. But maybe it's a good thing, because then you guys can see the makeup on me and like how it wears. I would say this is like a medium coverage. It's not full coverage because you're gonna still see bits of discoloration. If you hear my daughter in the background, she's working on tummy time and rolling over, and she likes to be very vocal about it. She is my daughter. So I don't hate it, but it's not sticking on my nose very well. I'll have to do the rest of my makeup because I think I can bronze it up and then I'll get a better feel. Right now I just feel very washed out. However, in terms of the texture and how it feels on my skin, super lightweight for how much coverage I feel like I am getting. It does look like makeup. It does look like it's covering my redness and any of my discoloration, but it also looks like makeup, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just have to kind of see how it all looks together with the rest of my stuff. It is showing here, so I don't know if it's because I put it over the concealer or if because I started going in with the powder and then the concealer. So I think it doesn't work super well with this concealer that I laid down. On this side, it's not quite as bad, but you can still see it's like the product is kind of not as seamless and smooth right here, but it definitely looks really good on the forehead. It looks good on my chin, which is the dry parts, and then it looks really good on this part of my cheeks. With powder products, I always find that it starts to look better in a few minutes, if not an hour or two after applying it. I'm gonna do the rest of my face and I'll be right back with all of my face done. And as I was doing my makeup, I started to see more and more of like patchy areas. So this area right above my eyebrows, I am noticing like it's just not sitting very well. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's like I'm missing product right along my brows. And I did apply product there, and it just doesn't seem to want to hold in certain parts of my skin. So it's really interesting because I have combination dry and oily skin, but I also exfoliate and take care of it and moisturize. So there weren't any dry patches when I began applying all of my products. There weren't any dry patches as of this morning. So there really shouldn't be any reason why things are clumping or wearing off already. The powder doesn't want to stick right here, and then the powder doesn't want to sit well right here. I'm not really sure why, but it could also just be like I have the wrong shade and it's lighter. So when you have a product that's way too light for you, you end up seeing all of the little mistakes or all of the flaws. Whereas if you went a shade darker than your actual skin tone, then you wouldn't see as noticeable of difference, if that makes sense. That's typically how base products work. The idea is to have the perfect match so that you don't see any issues, or if you must, go a little bit darker. But I went a little bit too light. I am going to set everything with my Pixi Hydrating Milky Mist. When I use a lot of powder products, which I don't do often anymore, if you guys know, I love cream bases, liquid foundations. Cream foundations are kind of my favorite. I just think they work really well with all skin types, and it just makes your skin look the most natural, even with a medium to fuller coverage. So I'm going to use the Pixi Hydrating Milky Mist because when I do use a lot of powder products, I like to kind of rehydrate the products a bit. Now, if you're super oily, you probably don't want to do something like this because your natural oils will start to absorb the powder products and you'll start getting the same effect. But if you are someone who has normal skin, combination skin like me, you're going to want to do a little bit of a setting spray. So I do feel like that kind of takes it down a little bit, that powdery look, and I think it makes this area not as noticeable and this area not as noticeable. But I'll check in a few hours right before I lose daylight, and then I'll check in at the end of the night because this is supposed to be a long wear foundation, and I am going to be wearing my mask around the house, as well as probably when we go out for our afternoon walk. So as well as when I hold my baby, she tends to rub her very full head of hair against my jawline. So I'll be back in a couple hours for me and a second for you. It's early evening and I'm doing my check-in before I lose any more daylight. And this is how everything is wearing. So I definitely think it looks better once my oils kind of set in, which is so gross to say, but I think that's how powder foundations tend to work, especially if you are on the combination to oily side. It just looks better over time. I'm pretty impressed at how it feels on my face because it's really smooth and it feels really lovely and lightweight. And then when I look at it in the mirror right now, or in the camera, I notice that it's still there even though my baby girl literally just rubs her head back and forth on the side of my face. So the fact that it doesn't look like anything's super worn off is pretty impressive, and it's not clumping or doing anything weird right here. This is where I usually have the most issues with product blending and kind of staying nice. So it does look better, which I had a feeling it would because powder foundations look better on me over time. And if you have drier to combination skin or even oily skin, it does take a minute for the powder foundation to kind of like settle in and warm up and kind of absorb some of your natural oils. This area right here even looks better. This area here is looking better because of my natural grease. Making it blend in. Let me just look in the mirror real quick. So it's looking better, but it's not perfect. I have had better powder foundations because look, I don't know if you can see that, but it's like, it's kind of looking like chicken skin right there. So that area hasn't really improved too much. It looks better like from this distance, but if I was wearing makeup and someone was looking at me, you're really gonna see all that. And it could just be because I got a shade too light, so it's gonna show everything. And it could be because I'm not 18 or 20 using this product like a lot of the people on TikTok. It's worn off a little here too. So, I mean, I think I would try it again in the correct shade to see if this would be better, and I would try it using a brush to apply it versus the sponge. I used the sponge that came with it because that was what everybody else was using and it seemed to yield really great results. It's also hard to tell on TikTok because the quality of the footage isn't like super clear. You're also getting a lot of younger people using this powder, and younger people tend to have more combination to oily skin. They tend to not have as many fine lines and their pores tend to be smaller. Although I'm sure there are TikToks of people using it with acne or enlarged pores or older, more mature skin with fine lines or dry skin. I would try it again in my shade just to see, and I would actually try this one again using a brush to see if it would apply a little bit smoother. And I think using like a dense buffing brush might work better for me. I don't hate it right off the bat because I love how it felt on the skin, and I do like how long it's lasting in the areas that it did apply well, but I'm not crazy about the areas that I told you about from application that I was having trouble with. I don't feel like it's improved that much over time because if you come in real close, you're gonna see that, and I don't love it when you can see that. It's not the end of the world. I just prefer my makeup to look more like skin, and if it is going to like clump up and stuff, I'd rather just wear off than clump up, if that makes any sense. So it's not a total miss for me, but a lot of the things that I had issues with during the application my mind has not changed, and I think it would be worth trying different ways of applying and maybe possibly going out and finding my actual shade if that's even possible, because this thing has sold out and is like impossible to find. So I actually think I'm going to end today's video because it's not going to get any better at the end of the day, and I'm just going to have worse lighting to show you really what's going on. So this is what it looks like in late evening, or late afternoon, early evening lighting. And then I showed you with that orangey light, my bathroom light. I need to get new bulbs because I hate the way it looks on camera. And while I want to show you in actual lighting so that you know how everything looks if you were to purchase it and put it on your face, and you know, between maybe if you go to the office or if you go to work, or if you're just in different houses or different housing lighting, you want to look good. I want you to have a realistic idea of what products look like if you were to purchase it and put it on your skin. So that being said, if you enjoyed this video and my channel, make sure you subscribe for new videos twice a week. I upload every Friday and every Sunday at 9 a.m. PST. I would love to see you guys back here. Until next time, have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your night. Bye!